welcome back to the Off-Grid family. Today I'm going to be doing a housing for my Laser CNC machine. The reason I'm thinking of making one is for two reasons. Number one, the safety. Obviously you don't want people being able to look directly at the laser, etc, etc. It's I think it's 6 megawatts. And also I want a way of extracting the smoke. Now I've got a little fan that I had on it which would blow the smoke out the window, but it's still, I still needed to shut the door to my workshop and not let anyone in, so it would fill the house, etc. So I'm going to be doing that. Now I'm still in lockdown, thus the great hair. So it means I can only use what I've got lying around in the house. Now, about a year ago, I found a lot of this wood in a skip. I've got bigger pieces of it. It's really thick, and so it's going to make it super heavy, but it's all I've got to work with, so it's what I'm going to use at this moment. Now I've measured out the CNC machine and how much extra room I need, etc. And I've got a piano hinge that was for actually the 3D printer box, but I changed the hinges on that, so it's actually the exact right size, I think, so that's pretty handy. And I've also got this, hang on. This here is actually, this goes in a window, and then this is like the extractor thing. Now I got this with another extractor years and years ago, which I didn't need any of this bits for. Love that. This can be bent in any direction at all. And what I did was I screwed a big CPU fan on a big computer fan onto it, and it extracts really well. But it would be even better if it's inside an enclosure. That'll make it quieter for a start, but also all the smoke will go out through it rather than, it going into the atmosphere and so on. So, didn't break anything, honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out all of the pieces of wood I need, and then I'm going to saw them to size, and I'll be back. Right, we've all heard a bad workman blames his tools, but I've never said I'm a good workman. But the truth is, the two tools I tried to use, which was a jigsaw and then a circular saw, the jigsaw literally wobbles like that and it's awful. I tried that for 2 seconds and gave up. And then the circular saw, the actual blade protector kept locking up, and no matter what I tried to fix, it wouldn't fix. So I was halfway through sawing, and then it would sort of bump around and stuff until it unlocked, and then it would carry on. So my lines on this wood is not straight in any sense of the word, but I'm just going to work around that and, do the best I can. The thing is, I can hide a lot with black paint, as I did with the, 3D printer one. So I'll show you what I've done so far and how it's looking, and then I'll start putting it together. I'm going to use a lot of glue and screws, and hopefully it'll be enough to hold it all in, and it will be enough to cover up all the gaps. If not, if certain bits are very wonky and very awkward, then I will have to use some filler of some kind. Not that I've got any at all, but I'll make some or something. Right, this is the bottom half of it, and it is gigantic. I measured the place I'm putting it, and I'm going to actually have to put stilts on the front half to hold it up, and the other half's actually going to go on the windowsill. But that's not a major issue. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to screw it all together, glue it all together. Oh no, the next thing I'm going to do actually is drill a big hole here. Cut a big hole with my jigsaw that's made of jelly, and that's for the fan. As I was cutting that out, something dawned on me, which is going to be quite annoying but fixable if so. Let's see if what I thought is going to actually be a problem. One sec. Okay, that's as wide as I can actually get the picture because of how big it is and how close. Yeah, no, that is as wide. Right, this is it, just chucked together, not drilled or, no, not screwed or glued at all yet, but, whoops, right, let's have a look. Yeah, this is the problem. Let's move this along a little bit. This is as tight to this side as I can get it. And this was supposed to go on the inside, but if it does, I need another inch or so space. Whoops. The only other thing I can do is connect it to the top, but I'm not going to do that. No, okay, right, so basically I'm just going to have to fit it on the outside. It'll be a pain because it won't look as good, but that is the way it's going to have to be. Right, I'm going to start screwing all this together and sticking it down with a bit of glue and get at least the bottom half of it done. And this is easier said than done, it's massive. Okay, that is the first bit stuck and gluing. It's not great, this is the bottom by the way, and it would be facing that way. No, this way, oh I don't know. Facing some way, I haven't decided. It all depends on what it looks like when I've finished the first part. But I'll glue the rest in a minute. I have never claimed I'm any good at woodwork, but seriously, this is... there's a gap in there that I could fit through. But it is level, but yeah, there's a huge gap. But I can always fill that up and hide it, so that's not a major issue. So that's the whole bottom part done. Next, I need to start with the lid, and that's... oh no, the front, and then I need the lid. Okay, the back is now on, and next I've got to work out how to put the lid on it, because I've made the lid sink in, so I'm probably going to have to put battens around it. I'll show you what I mean now. Okay, so this is the main back bit, which the hinged part of the door will connect to. And obviously I want to give it extra strength. Wow, that looks warped in that camera view. It's not actually that bad. Yeah, so I want to have the actual bit that hinges connected to this like this. So what I'm going to need to do is put battens around the underside of this and then along the underside of either side so that the hinged door bit will land on them. Okay, that's the back brace in temporarily. I'm going to not glue it or anything yet because when I want to connect the hinges, which are hither, I'll connect them out, you know, on the table or whatever, so it's easier. I can't even open these. Come on, Jay, you're a man. You can do this. There we go. Yeah, so I'll connect these elsewhere. So I might... oh, I don't know what to do. Anyway, forget that. The next really important thing and the pain in the butt thing I'm going to have to do is sort this lid out, because this lid it's supposed to shut flush, but I'm a couple of mil out in certain areas, so I'm going to have to plane it all down to get it to the exact right size. So that'll probably take me 2 months. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I haven't done that yet, and I'm not trying to procrastinate, I promise, but I need to put a sort of viewing window in that I might then make a cover for just for safety. And this is an old piece of perspex I got, I think, from an old caravan, but I'm not entirely sure. I've cleaned it up a little bit, and all I'm going to do is cut a hole that's smaller than it and then just stick it from the underside. But I have to decide where I'm putting it and what size I want it. Okay, I've drawn round this, you know, not literally this, it's got all sorts of bits not missing, but I've drawn the biggest area I could potentially have. And now what I want to do is round off the corners and make it thinner, and, you know, so I only want a window about this big. And then I can stick the rest. So I will do that now. hole's cut out and I've planed around the edges so that it fits in as a nice little door. What I'm going to do now is get the hinges on. I'm going to take this piece out again and I'm going to screw them both together with the hinge. What I've just realised is, why did I just screw them all in? Because I'm going to have to paint this soon. Right, I'm going to attempt to get rid of this gap. I've been saving all of the dust from, you know, every time I've cut or used the plane or whatever. And I'm going to make up a paste with glue and it. And I'm going to just see if I can fill this all in with it. It will either work or it won't. I'm at the painting process now. The issue I've got is I'm thinking about putting electronics in it, just a little bit of lighting and that kind of thing, so that you can see what's going on when it's all closed down. But I haven't decided, so I'm going to paint it first, then decide whether I'm going to put any more drill holes or whatever into it. It's not a major issue. I've got enough black paint, I think, to then just fill in any other marks that I make, so we shall see. But I will be doing this in a time lapse because I'm going to have to do this over days because of it is pouring outside, and it has been for days and days and days. So it'll all have to be done inside, dried, and then, you know, other sides done, etc. But let's get on. Okay, that's all painted and dried. Well, drying. Some of it I had to go over with because I'd been wearing latex gloves with all that powdery stuff in, and it made it look awful. Anyway, I'm going to assemble it back all together, and I've got to put a bit of glue in certain places that I hadn't glued originally. I'm thinking I might as well paint the CNC, the 3D printer box as well. But anyway, I'll be back in a sec. Right, I've temporarily stuck the fan on, and I stuck this round just to cover up the holes. I'm going to have to do something with it, because obviously not having this tight up against there, now we've got some gaps where the fan doesn't quite cover it. I'll come up with something, but I want to go and test this. This could be a really bad idea. Right, obviously there is smoke coming out the gap at the top while the actual fan isn't running, but then it looks like it is during the time the fan's running, but this isn't actually accurate. It's what's coming out of the fan and going directly up rather than out. I thought this when I looked at the video now in post, and I then decided to try this test again, and it's just the fans shooting some of it upwards and some of it outwards. So as long as the fan's running, no smoke is escaping from the actual CNC machine, or the case anyway. But when the fan is not running, it comes out of every gap you can imagine. Okay, so this is where I'm going to leave it at the moment. There is still lots and lots to do. I want to set up the electronics in it and various other things, but I need to actually get it up and running, because I've actually built it for a reason. I've got 2 other projects I need to get going immediately that are quite time sensitive. So I'm going to just have this how it is. It's usable, it's not ideal, but eventually I want lights in there. I would like the extractor to be fired off a switch that's at the front somewhere, and just various other things like something to keep these wires up off the bed, because they get in the way of everything and it's a bit of a design flaw, but I've come up with a few plans for that. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.